பட போச்சே.
ஹாய்டா. ஹாய்டா.
டே யுவா தான் ரெக்கார்டிங் வரான்னு நினைச்சா ஒரு பொடியா வந்திருக்கான்.
Hey, bye. Who are you?
கிண்டர்கார்டன் முடிஞ்ச வந்த மாதிரி இல்ல.
ஹென்சம்டா.
சரி யுவா ஐசி கிடைச்சிச்சா இல்லையா?
கடிச்சிட்டு எனக்கு நேத்து தான் கிடைச்சிச்சு.
சர்ரா வெல்கம் பேக் டு another episode.
இத வீடியோஸ் நீ பட்டா போடுறா, இன்ஸ்டாகிராம் போல போடுறா.
முடியாதுடா,
போடுறா.
சைல்ட் அபியூஸ்ல நம்மள வந்து உள்ள தள்ளிடுவாங்கடா.
இந்த தருணத்துல நான் ஒன்னு சொல்லணும்.
சொல்லாதடா.
எவ்வளவு தான் நம்ம க்ரூம் பண்ணாலும் ஒரு நாய் மட்டும் நம்ம குரூப்ல க்ரூம் பண்ணாம இருக்கு.
He is a broom.
Because he is a broom.
க்கு பதிலா தாடி ப்ரூமா வச்சிருக்கான்.
மச்சான் அந்த தாடிக்கு பின்னாடி ஒரு கதை இருக்குடா. You know, it's basically a தாடி, you know.
You use your face to clean the toilet bowls.
அது நீ பண்றதுடா. அது நீ பண்றது.
Technically if you put his face on the toilet bowl becoming dirty டா.
Actually true.
Fuck you. But anyways, நேயர்களே, welcome back to another episode on வட போச்சே.
One small clarification, is another episode of வட போச்சே, not on வட போச்சே.
வாத்தி ரொம்ப தேங்க்ஸ் வாத்தி. So வாத்தி சொன்ன மாதிரி ஆஃப் வட போச்சே. Yeah, so நேயர்களே, I hope you all had a good week and I hope you all had a good listen to the last episode. And this week வந்து கொஞ்சம் ஒரு ஸ்பெஷல் எபிசோட்னு சொல்லலாம். ஏன்னு நம்ம ஜாவர் நீ சொல்றியா?
எஸ், ஆஃப் கோர்ஸ். இந்த வாரம் நம்ம கூட ஒரு ஸ்பெஷல் கெஸ்ட் இருக்காங்க. He is none other than Danie Dharma. ஒரு சவுண்ட் எஃபெக்ட். ஹாய் ப்ரோ.
Hi guys, how are you?
ப்ரோ ஒரு அட்ரஸ் வேணும்னா சொல்லுங்க, நான் கொடுக்குறேன். தூக்கி போட்டு வெதிக்கணும் ப்ளீஸ்.
ஒரு ரிங்டன் கிடைக்குமா? அனௌன்சரா.
Hey,
I wanted to be Bruce Buffer.
no cannot, you be buffer first.
So basically நம்ம வடபோச்சே பாட்காஸ்ட் வந்து Danie Dharma, who is also known as Destroyer Dharma, இன்னைக்கு வந்திருக்காரு. Welcome to the show Danie.
Welcome bro, welcome.
Hello guys, hi to all the viewers as well. Listeners rather.
So bro, நீங்க வந்து you're well known for one thing, okay, which is bodybuilding. You are Mr. Singapore 2016. Share with us, you know, இந்த journey எப்படி ஆரம்பிச்சது?
Okay lah, actually when I was a kid, right, the first thing that gave me this idea about being a bodybuilder in adulthood, I was about 5 or 6 years old. So I was watching another movie with my dad, and my dad told me, okay, this is Arnold Schwarzenegger, this is what a bodybuilder is. So at that age itself, that became the blueprint of what my adulthood was going to be. So I told myself, okay, when I grow up, I'm going to also be a bodybuilder. So we fast forward a few years. I was 13 years old, and I was actually a short and skinny guy in school. So, you know, I started getting bullied. People started waking me up, and sometimes even worse, you know, they will all grab me, pull down my shorts, you know, stuff like that. So at that point of time, I've always been into sports, into fitness. Like when I was 13 years old, I was in the school hockey team, track and field. But when all these bullying incidents escalated, I was telling myself, hey, you know, I need to get stronger and more muscular. I can stop all these bullying problems. Because at that time, you know, I didn't want to go and complain to the teachers and all that. Because, you know, I'm already seem like a geek. You know, so if I complain to the teacher, it's going to make it even worse. Like, they're saying, yeah, this guy go and complain to the teacher, you know, that sort of thing. So, and, you know, there were even times I wanted to get a weapon and whack up my bully. Like, don't care what happened, you know. But then I thought about my parents. Because my mom and dad are really awesome. I didn't want them to come to my school or, you know, have faced this kind of problems. So I just I held it in, and then I just started to train. So I started around I was 15 years old. Actually, it was quite interesting because I went through a late puberty. So I was still short at that point of time. So at 15 years old, then only I started. So at the same time, I started training, and I also went to research and all. So when I started training, I also got my nutrition plan correct. So my first year, I had a very big jump with my growth spurt from puberty and my training and all. I gained like 20 kg in 1 year.
Nice.
It's truly inspiring, how நீங்கள் அந்த bullying இதை வந்து எப்படி கவுண்டர் பண்ணுறீங்கன்னு. ஏன்னா நிறைய பேர் வந்து bully victims-ஆக இருந்திருக்காங்க. And it's not every day, someone takes it in a, I would say, in a more positive light. Actually நான் இதை வந்து நீங்கள் இப்போ சொன்னீங்க வெப்பன்ஸ் எடுத்து அடிக்கலான்னு. ஆனால் உங்கள் பெற்றோரை நினச்சி you thought, okay, I can do better for myself, and you took this path of bodybuilding. I think that itself on its own, it's truly inspiring. And நேர்கள் வந்து இதை கேட்டு I hope they really get inspired, to be very honest.
Thanks a lot.
So like Bharat said, the thing that you did with using that negative experience, like if you put it in basic terms, it is not something pleasant, something that you went through, to use it constructively to mold the rest of your life is actually something that's very commendable. And at the same time, there are a lot of people who go through these sort of situations like society and they are just suffering silently, like you said, sometimes the last thing you want to do when you have trouble is to go to like an authority figure or something like that, because it does make you feel like you're giving the bully more material to pick you up for, so so the it's like a lot of silent suffering for a bully victim. So is there any message or any word of advice that you have for anyone who might be going through something like this in their life now?
Okay, there's actually a bit more to it. Because on top of just being the small guy who got bullied, right, I was the only Indian in my class. So, when sometimes the bullies go and pick on some of the other guys, right, they will, other students will go and stop them. But when it was me, they would be like laughing and enjoying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there was bullying itself is not really the main thing that causes the damage. It's the aftermath, the way that people around you behave. Like then they think that okay, after that they don't let you to mix around with them. They think you're a geek. They ostracize you. So the psychological impact is double. So naturally, what would happen? Like most people would they would start thinking that they are a third class citizen. And they will stop believing in themselves. That's why a lot of victims of bullying, they become self-destructive. They got anxiety, and they give in to people very easily. So I will say that one of the main things that got me into this part was because my parents, right, they sent me for a lot of motivation classes.
Okay.
Stuff like that. They sent me for certain classes that were not really related to school. It's more like mind mapping, goal setting, self-confidence. So having been for all that, I knew I assured myself that I'm not a third class citizen, and that is not that's what was happening to me was not correct. So I just looked for a way to make the situation better, to get basically to just become the best version of myself, so that people won't treat me in such a way. So at that point of time, bodybuilding seemed to be the most logical approach. I mean, 15 years old, I wasn't going to think about career, that sort of thing. No, actually, I think I did not answer your question. For people who are going through bullying, right, it's a very unfortunate thing, lah. Because the way I see it, right, the school system actually protects the bullies. Let's say you whack someone up, what's the teacher going to do? Ask you stand outside. At most, ask you go to the principal office or ask their parents come down. But in comparison, right, someone got beaten up, hurt, and humiliated. So you cannot compare. Administrative punishment means the bully is getting off easily. So that's that aspect lah. And on the other hand, right, I think it's still best to at least let your parents and your teachers know if something like that is going on, because someone needs to know. So at least they will know that you're dealing with something. They might have other means to help you. But personally, I feel this is a bit. Most professionals might not say this, but I'm just going to say it. I'm going to put it out there. I think the best way to deal with bullying in the modern times, right, is for the kid who is a victim to learn martial arts. If that kid defends himself and beats up his bully just one time, that bully is not going to pick on him anymore. Because you think about it, the school system is going to protect the victim when he fights back. Or at most, why beat him up, stand outside the class. Then that's it. It's not going to go through anything else. Same like the bully.
I agree to the martial arts thing to a certain extent. Yeah, because I mean, when I was in secondary school, I think my sec 1, sec 2 phase, I was a bit of a being bullied to a certain extent. Though, but I was very close to uh, the seniors of the school. So once they left, that's when the problem came to me. Then during my sec 3 phase is when I started picking up martial arts. Then after I picked up martial arts, things around me changed. The way the bullies looked into you also perceive you also changes because they know like, okay, maybe he might, if I do something, he might beat me up, something like that. It's just in the back of the thought.
Moving forward from this phase, இந்த bullyingலேருந்து நீங்கள் 15 வயசுலேருந்து ஆரம்பிச்சிங்க பாடி பில்டிங். You entered your first competition when you were 17, am I right?
Correct.
How was that experience, as a 17-year-old bodybuilding competition? Because honestly, when I was 17, I wasn't thinking about bodybuilding. I was thinking about football, biryani, and sleep. But அந்த 17 வயசுல வந்து you were motivated to, be a better version on a daily, I won't even say better version, like to be an example, I should say. What went through your mind? How was that experience like?
Okay lah. Here's the thing we cannot put bodybuilding on a pedestal because bodybuilding is not the only correct way to be the best version of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You can be the best soccer player. You can be the best electrician. Anything that you take up. Because to me, I found my passion. The moment you found your passion, right, you will excel in it, whatever it may be. So I found it and I got the chance to do it lah. When I first competed, I never really watched the bodybuilding show before at that point of time. So actually, my IT teacher, he saw me. And actually, there's a story behind that as well. Because I was actually an express student in Sec 4. I was actually quite academically good in secondary school. Then I kind of got burnt out in Sec 4. So I didn't do so well for O-level. Basically, I failed maths lah. You fail maths and you can go poly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my parents weren't too happy with me. I'm the oldest child. So I ended up going for higher NITEC lah, in IT. But that's where the sports teacher saw my potential and asked me to compete in bodybuilding. That was the beginning for me. If not, I might have never have become a bodybuilder who competes. I might just be a guy going to the gym.
So, like, there's one thing that you mentioned with regards to bodybuilding being put on a pedestal. I agree also because, like, I do like to go to the gym and do bodybuilding and stuff. But the people around me, I mean, outside of my close friend circle, a lot of people enjoy cardio and things like that. But the one constant thing, right, like you mentioned, going to a bodybuilding competition, winning it, and it's completely different amount of time and prep that goes into it, especially when you're near the competition time, right? Compared to like a regular guy who's learning how to gym or a guy who's just going to the gym to keep fit, the amount of time and commitment you put to it is on another level. Especially I've seen my friends who competed in Singapore as well, like a few years ago. The amount of time you put into it, the amount of control of water that you take closer to the competition date and all is really a lot of work. But the thing in common with regards to the other avenues of being the best version of yourself, right, is the work that you put in. So was the work ethic that you have something that you worked on, or do you feel that it is something that naturally came to you?
That one I have to thank my parents. Because my dad sent me for all these courses when I was younger. So certain things were stuff that I was already using when I was in school. Goal setting, planning ahead. So I just use all these tools and brought it over to bodybuilding. So like you see, most people when they start bodybuilding, right, they will just take the bus, go to the gym, walk in, and then just start doing the machines. But for me, I actually went to read. I got back in my time, the internet is not so popular. So I got books and I like really read stuff. Information in a book is credible. Not like online forums. A lot of funny information is not
Bro science, yeah.
Bro science lah.
So I got my training all correct at the start itself, and nutrition as well. Because when I was reading my book, it written there, they spoke about nutrition, like, okay, you need this much protein and all that stuff, right? So I realized that I'm going to need more info on that. So I got books on nutrition as well. Then I was that 15-year-old kid at the mama shop. I was looking at all the products, like, okay, whole meal bread, how much protein, like stuff like that. Yeah, so that's how I started.
Mm-hmm.
So when I went to the gym for my first day, right, I already knew, okay, this is what I need to do. I went to just do my training. So that was how I started. And yes, to prepare for bodybuilding contest, the commitment level is very high. You cannot eat you cannot eat outside food anymore. For the good part, you have to either prep your own meals. Like actually now, right, that is my normal life to me already. Like for the past 6 years, I mostly prep my own meals. Occasionally I eat out. Because I check my macros every day. So every day I'm supposed to meet this much protein, this much carbs, this much fat, stuff like that.
On that note, bro, since எல்லாரும் இங்க வந்து இந்தியன்ஸா இருக்காங்க, so I want to ask you about how difficult it is to be living in an Indian household, plus trying to control your macros, trying to be in a high protein, low fat, low carb diet.
Biryani.
I don't know. Okay, my mom is a very good cook. But, I don't know.
First point out.
I don't know lah, but sometimes I just somehow I made it work. But when I was still living with them, my mom will cook, but I will prep my own meal, and we will still eat together as a family. And it was totally fine.
Oh, you'll prep your own meals and then you'll just have dinner together with them. Okay.
Yeah. And anyway, it's a bit different because normal people eat 3 meals, but for bodybuilding, 6 to 8
5 to
meals.
6 meals. Nice.
So one of my meals I will have it with my family.
Oh, okay. Because usually Indian இருக்கும்போது when you try to do something different இந்த மாதிரி டயட்ல இருக்கும்போது you have a lot of conservative mothers like say ஏன் இப்படி பண்ற ஒழுங்கா வந்து சாப்பிடு then you'll அள்ளி போடுற அந்த ரைஸ் நான் ஒழுங்கா உள்ள சாப்பிடவே மாட்டேங்கறான்
உள்ள வளரணும்ல.
You know what's the most contradicting thing I face in my household? When I buy protein shake and come, அதெல்லாம் குடிச்சிட்டு இருக்க, அதெல்லாம் உடம்புக்கு நல்லது இல்ல, இந்த கோக் குடி. Like, hello. And then I look at that, the coke can use to clean your toilet is that strong and acidic. You'll give me that, but the protein I cannot take.
They'll think that protein வாங்குனா என்ன ட்ரக்ஸ்லாம் எடுக்கறப்பா
No, I swear our parents are the biggest advocates for bro science.
Yeah, exactly.
But protein is actually just cow's milk without lactose.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's just the way
it's a byproduct.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
No, like in protein சொல்லும்போது தான் எனக்கு ஞாபகம் இருக்கு. Like now I know when I first got my protein tub I think I was 16 years old. So then I was like, I was making it and I was drinking and everything. Then my cousins all were seeing and then few of my aunties was like, oh, you shouldn't drink, came like during the festivals like, you shouldn't drink that, அதெல்லாம் குடிச்சா வயித்துல என்ன கல்லுலாம் வரும், that kind of thing. I look at that, I was like, huh? Then I like, என்னது? But they were eating a oily biryani on that day on lunch. I literally can squeeze the oil out of the biryani, that kind.
Yeah. So bro, one more question about this whole bodybuilding topic, right? So நீங்க வந்து when you started bodybuilding, right, it's maybe around 2000 plus the year? 2001. Okay. So you have started bodybuilding pre-internet, pre-social media age. So from then until now, what kind of trend, என்ன மாதிரி ட்ரெண்ட்ஸ்லாம் பார்த்திருப்பீங்க from bodybuilding? You see the characters around the gym, how have they evolved from 2001 until now 2020?
Okay, you see, back when I started, right, the bodybuilding scene was controlled by the government. We had a SSC, we had a bodybuilding body called Singapore Bodybuilders Federation.
Okay.
Right, so those who go for contests, right, they cannot take any steroids. Because all the shows are tested, even those muscle war and all these, just local small shows also will be tested. So back then it was not so common to see a lot of young guys using. That was one of the trend. The other thing was that back then all those uncles who had access to it, right, they do not sell to all the kids.
ஒரு மாதிரி ஒரு close secret lah. Okay.
Yeah, so there was that, and then because my time there's only bodybuilding, men's open bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Right now there is men's physique and all these things, right?
Correct.
So now you will see a lot of guys who are walking around like flamingos.
Flamingos
So the upper body is
so they don't take no leg day lah, skip leg day. Okay.
அது நான் ஒரு படம் பார்த்தேன் இப்ப recently, Saw with his daughter.
அது படம் இல்ல, Instagram post. Yeah.
It's an imposter.
yeah, I saw
I mean,
that.
I think he trains legs. Like just the genetics for his legs is not that strong. I think.
Or maybe it's the angle, the
Maybe,
framing
maybe,
of the.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so nowadays you'll see many young guys walking around the gym,
Mhm.
big upper body, and their legs are smaller than their arms. So these were some of the things I saw that's different. And now, like a lot of the young guys are using a lot of BEDs
Mm.
because they got access to it.
Mm.
My time, our parents give us what, $2 a day, $5 a day.
Yeah.
BEDs na body enhancement drugs.
Performance enhancement drugs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so my time, parents give us what, $2, $5, $4 a day.
Ama.
And if I spend money, I'll tell my mom to need.
Yeah.
So at most I save money, I buy one tub of protein. But now the kids, they have money for big gym membership. Whatever supplement they want, whatever BD they want, everything they have. All the branded shoes and everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's so different.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't even know where they're getting the money because the parents are all struggling.
Maybe they work part time and then they maybe they legit do this lah. Huh?
The ones who work part-time won't be at the gym. They'll be at work.
அது வாஸ்தவம் தான். Moving on, to I would say the next marumugam of you, which is Destroyer Dharma. So நீங்க வந்து wrestlingல 2016 ஆரம்பிச்சீங்க கரெக்டா?
Yes, that's right.
Was this before Mr. Singapore or after Mr. Singapore?
No, actually I won Mr. Singapore at the same time period where I made my wrestling debut.
Wow. So talk us through this, from Mr. Singapore to Destroyer Dharma. How eppadi aachu bro? I mean, wrestling is not a very common thing to do. To watch is one thing, but to be a wrestler, அது வந்து வேற லெவல். எப்படி அந்த கனெக்ஷன் எப்படி ஆச்சு?
Okay, so here's the thing. I loved wrestling since I was a kid. I started watching, I think 4 or 5 years old. They used to show it on Singapore TV. Yeah, so all my life, even as an adult, right, I was always drawn to it. I knew that it's a choreographed show, but I was drawn to it. I somehow just loved the art form. So I was actually in Navy for 10 years, 2006 to 2016. So at the point when I left Navy, it was sometime in March 2016. The moment I came out, right, I wanted to do a second sport because I've been always doing bodybuilding. And I was one of those bodybuilders who do a lot of cardio and all that. So my fitness was also there. So I thought, okay, I know, let's explore another sport. So I was thinking between MMA, boxing, and wrestling. And I was thinking, I'm always watching wrestling. I'm always buying CDs. It's always intriguing me. Why not I just give it a try? So I went to join. So when I went to join, about that time, I just left Navy, right? I didn't get a job yet. I was like just keeping myself free because I wanted to win that Mr. Singapore. Because the year before I was third. So I knew that I'm very close to winning already. So I gave it my full effort. Savings lah. So,
Talking about wrestling, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, இங்க வந்து I and Yuva, I think all of us also watch wrestling.
Not me lah.
No, not Sharif.
I don't.
Sharif is the
Sharif வந்து weirdo. Sharif is a weirdo.
I walk my own path, bro.
கெட்டல திட்டிட வேண்டாம்.
Sorry, coming back. Bro, one main thing I want to know. Okay? Who is your favorite wrestler?
I have a handful lah.
Okay.
I would say Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley, Triple H, Kane, Goldberg, Batista. Off the bat, these few lah.
Okay.
Okay, since you mentioned Triple H, right? There's something I want to go out of the topic. Recently, I saw a meme where they show Thor. I think Bharat posted it.
I saw that.
Thor before becoming Thor, then they show Triple H holding the sledgehammer. I started laughing. And I think the best version of Triple H was during the part where he was in the Evolution.
I don't know. I think the early 2000s was better.
Exactly, I know. When he returned to Madison Square Garden after the injury, that period, that was the best.
I think the period where he was in Evolution when he was against Goldberg, he was like the damn badass. Everything he would do was like super heel. I cannot. I have never seen someone that badass till now.
You mean the sense of the booking lah, the character that's playing. Okay.
I mean, he did his job well. I legit hated him at that time.
Yeah. He busted open people said சும்மா ரத்தம் வரும்.
என்ன தமிழ்ல
இங்க
சொன்னானா?
முதல்ல
He said that in Tamil, is it?
ஆமாடா சன் டிவில டெலிகாஸ்ட் பண்ணாங்க.
டப்பிங் நல்லா பண்ணிருப்பாரு.
3H.
ப்ரோ நீங்க முதல்ல ஒரு பாயிண்ட் சொன்னீங்க. I wanted to pick up on that. You know, wrestling வந்து choreographed சொன்னீங்க. சரியா? I didn't know it was choreographed until like I remember I was watching this match. Undertaker buried alive. He buried alive by Randy Orton casket match நினைக்கிறேன். Undertaker செத்து போயிட்டாரு. நான் ரொம்ப சோகமா இருந்தேன்.
2005.
3 மாசம் கழிச்சு வெளியே வந்துருவான்.
வெளியே வந்தேன். உயிரோட இருக்காரு.
He came back in 1996 or so. He gonna very.
அப்பலாம் எனக்கு
against Kane,
விவரம்
right?
பத்தல. அப்பலாம்
No, that one Mankind.
He சும்மா ஒரு come against Kane only la.
அப்பெல்லாம் எனக்கு விவரம் பத்தல. அந்த ரெண்டி ஆட்டன் இதுதான் எனக்கு ஞாபகம் இருக்கு. அந்த ரியாக்ஷன், அந்த ரெண்டி ஆட்டன் கண்ணு இருக்குல்ல, I can never forget. But yeah, I didn't know it was choreographed until.
If I'm not wrong, he was on the stage on the ring with his father, Randy Orton and the father.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, then after that, ஐயோ என்னமோ பேய் வருதுன்னு இறங்கி என்னமோ ஓடிறானே காஞ்சனா வர மாதிரி.
No, but you see, that's the thing about wrestling though. People don't appreciate it. Like in my opinion, my father was a hardcore wrestling fan and I followed his path lah. So I don't perform anything, but I do follow all the shows and the podcasts and all the no DQ forums and all the stuff lah. But the thing about wrestling is that there's a lot of things that go into a good performance. You have your cutting your promo, you have in WWE, you have how you look at the camera, you have your timing, you have how you land, how you execute your move, your expression when you take certain moves and how you sell the moves of your opponents also. So there are so many things that go into this in this art form. In my opinion, it's also an art form. It's like people say it's not a sport, but I totally disagree. If you disagree that wrestling is a sport, then you cannot classify synchronized swimming as a sport. You cannot classify ballet as a sport. Because all those are performances done by athletes who are trained and know how to do their shit. So, sorry, I'm going on a rant about wrestling because it strikes a chord with me. So, with regards to these things, right, there's so many elements that go into wrestling, right? So, was there a specific aspect of wrestling that attracted you to it, or was it the whole package?
Okay, I originally joined wrestling, right? Not to wrestle. I actually joined to like become more acrobatic. I wanted to learn to do all the flips and stuff like that. But when I joined in, because I was quite athletic at that point, I was doing my cardio and all. So I picked it up very fast. Within 4 months, they asked me to make an appearance. I wasn't officially a wrestler yet, but they asked me to come and like interfere in the main event and stuff like that. Just like want to introduce me to the crowd.
Okay.
But it wasn't easy lah. From my first day of doing the slams, right? Learning how to fall. I did it wrongly and I was hurting for 3 weeks. Because the ring is a lot harder than people think it is. Because it's made of steel beams with plywood on top. And then there's one layer of styrofoam over the plywood. But that one is just to make it look straight only. And then the canvas over it. So it actually can be pretty hard. You land on your ankle, you can break your ankle. You land on your neck, you can break your neck. I'm sure you all have seen people breaking their necks and all. So, this that we do repeated bumps. We do like 20 bumps in a go and stuff like that to condition our bodies. So it doesn't hurt so much after some time.
Bro, you know when you are mentioned just now, choreography. You know, ஒரு wrestling இது பண்றதுக்கு வந்து ஒரு நல்ல ப்ரோமோ தேவை. அந்த ப்ரோமோ தான் sells the fight.
Okay.
I researched about you. நான் வந்து Destroyer Dharma நான் கூகுள் பண்ணி பார்த்தேன். மொதல் ஆர்டிக்கல் வந்து உங்க சிசிடிவி வீடியோ வந்துச்சு. என்னடா சிசிடிவி வீடியோ வந்திருக்கேன்னு பார்த்தேன். உங்களை ஒருத்தர் வந்து கத்தியால குத்த வராரு. அந்த பேக் வந்து என்ன அப்புறம் தான் தெரிஞ்சது அது ஒரு ப்ரோமோனு. பட் இட் காட் மீ சோ இன்ட்ரிக் தட் அட்லீஸ்ட் ஐ ஃபெல்ட் somebody was really coming after you only to find out that was a promo and I thought this is fucking creative, this is fucking brilliant.
Plus அந்த ப்ரோமோ பார்க்கிறது வந்து it looks really legit.
எப்படி இந்த ஐடியா, how you came about this and how?
So here's the story behind that lah. Okay, so of course Singapore wrestling, we also we also do try to do our promos and stuff before matches. But I see the problem, right? The audience always receive it very badly. They will say like, okay, they will look at it and say, oh, how come someone's already recording, then guy A attack guy B? It's fake. You know, they don't understand that when you watch a wrestling show, right, you are not watching it thinking it's fake. It's the same like how you watch Avengers. We know that Captain America don't exist.
Correct.
We know that all the stunts are blue screen. We know that there is no what's the guy's name?
Thanos.
There's no Thanos, right?
Yeah.
But when you go into the theater, you are watching it in a different perspective. You are thinking, if this were to exist, how is the story going to come out?
Okay.
So in wrestling, it's the same thing. So what we wrestlers do, we build up our storylines for that purpose because there are fans who know how to appreciate it. So they will see our story, then be like, oh, this guy attacked him. I'm waiting for him to get hands on him. You know, they're like that kind of because the way we plan our match also will go according to that. Ring psychology. I'll speak more about that lah. But I think I don't want to know about the slashing, right?
Yeah.
So I told that the other guy is called the Butcher Man. So you know his gimmick is he comes to the ring with a knife. So I told him, hey, why not we do a promo that can look realistic?
Okay.
If we just do like you attack me somewhere, then people are just going to say it's fake again. And I tell him, we don't plant any camera. We go to somewhere where there's an existing CCTV. Then we do our skit there. Then he say, okay lah, good idea. Then we spoke to Gymbox management. They said, okay, we will help you. So we did the skit and they gave us the CCTV footage. That's why it looks so real because it's a real CCTV footage.
Wow.
It looks perfectly like in the real life, like legitly incidental.
But if you see, right, there are two videos.
Okay.
So the CCTV is the first video.
Sorry.
The second video, right, I actually put my handphone on the counter for a clearer view.
Oh.
So there are two versions.
Okay.
So if you look at the handphone version, right, you can see that the acting is very, very bad. They purposely acted very, very bad so that like people see it, they'll have an idea that it's a wrestling promo. Yeah, so that's why we put the CCTV one first, then we release the second one. But what happened was the CCTV one went way much more viral than we expected. because I normally post stuff about Butcher on my Facebook, I thought that most people on my Facebook would have already known who he is. They would have known that, oh, this guy, the wrestling guy lah, you know. But I was surprised. I was walking finish the shooting, upload, I'm walking with Butcher. Suddenly my phone started ringing non-stop. It's like my best friend all started to call me. Hey, what happened? Who attacked you? You okay not? I had to start replying one by one. Then the police called me. Someone from the police lah. It's also my friend.
Oh.
He's like, hey, you know what happened? Then I told him, no, this is a wrestling promo. That's like, oh, okay. Then I will just update my guys. Then okay. Then I was thinking, okay, the second video supposed to upload like 3 or 4 days later. Then I told Butcher, hey, you know what? I think we better just upload that video by morning. So after that, we went to upload lah. Then so the new video also became viral. So many people actually, what really happened, right, was people don't know that we have wrestling in Singapore. A lot of people say, wow, I didn't know we have wrestling here. So that viral video actually created awareness to many people, thousands. Many people message in saying, oh, I didn't know there's wrestling now. This is great. I'm going to watch the match, stuff like that. And some of the people in the comments, right, they are actually wrestling fans who message me personally. Say like, hey, I know there's Butcher, but I'm just going to play along. Then they go and comment like, how can this guy do that? He should be banned from wrestling. That kind of thing. Like they were playing along with us.
Wow.
The promo went way better than expected, really.
Yeah, it is the most viral wrestling promo in Singapore history.
Nice. Very nice.
This kind of CCTV promo that reminds me of that time, when Stone Cold went to attack Vince McMahon. They also use something similar, the CCTV.
Is it the one that happened in the grocery store or something? Booker
No,
T.
that's Booker T.
That's Booker T.
Okay.
It's the hospital, I think. Yeah.
That's the big pen one lah.
I saw.
Bro, actually one more question. I mean, நீங்க சொன்னீங்க that நீங்க வந்து அந்த management தான் inform பண்ணீங்கன்னு. That means there are other people who are in the gym who's not aware that this is going to happen.
No, the whole gym saw us rehearsing and all that. So everyone the other side, like, everyone can see what we're doing. But they just
That's why I was
continue their
wondering.
stuff.
Imagine you only tell the management but never tell someone in the gym. Then அவரோட கத்தியோட வராங்க gym right now.
No, then you know what's the worst part? If the second video, right, there's one guy sitting down there and laughing at us. Then that guy is my friend also.
He didn't get the memo.
And he knows what's going on, but I think he probably didn't realize that he's within the camera angle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but we decided to leave it lah, so that people will figure out it was a promo lah. And actually this promo, right, even a US news network covered it.
Wow.
They covered it quite positively actually. They said it was good marketing and stuff like that.
It was
Yeah,
definitely good
it is.
marketing.
It is very good comment. Very creative. Okay, so just one question. Like you mentioned that your gaming is Destroyer Dharma, right? So
Uh-huh.
where did that Destroyer part come from for your gaming?
Okay lah. Here's the thing. They gave me a very short notice to make my first appearance. So I was like, alamak, what kind of gimmick am I going to do?
Mm.
Then I was thinking along like what to wear and all. My first appearance, right, I just wear a gym pants. I didn't even have my wrestling gear.
Uh-huh.
So I was thinking, okay, since at that point I'm the most muscular guy in wrestling, should come up with something that's powerful.
Mm.
Then I was thinking, okay, powerful, what's powerful? Then I thought, okay, what about DC Comics Doomsday? He's known as the Earth's ultimate destroyer. Because even Superman can't stop him.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah,
have to like, literally bury him, right?
Yeah.
So I was thinking, okay, maybe I'll use the word destroyer. Then I was like, okay, my name is Dharma. Okay, let's connect lah. Okay.
Okay.
So it was just like that only. It was like within like a few minutes I came up with that. And the management said, okay, we'll just use this name.
எத்தனை matches பண்ணிருப்பீங்க இப்ப?
I think maybe 15 or so.
That's a lot. Oh, wow.
And நீங்க வந்து championships நீங்க வந்து win பண்ணிருக்கீங்க கரெக்ட்டா?
Yes.
If there's this
One time.
if there's this one dream match you would have, it could be anybody.
Okay.
அது யூஎஸ்ல இருந்து இருக்கலாம் இல்ல anyone.
Okay.
யாரோட நீங்க would you wrestle?
John Cena.
Anna, you
Why?
can't see him what?
They hold
wrestling வேணாம் இல்லாம கொய்யால.
Because looking at it from a performance perspective, right? I think that he's because you look at most of the guys there, they are very, very tall, 6'5", 6'8", like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
John Cena 6'2". I am 5'9", so it's not too
Correct.
off.
Yeah, it's not too.
Yeah. At the same time, we are both we can do certain athletic things like like leapfrog, stuff like that. I think the chemistry might be quite good lah. And then I'm dark skin, he's fair skin. So this kind of contrasting things will all be very visually nice.
Is this part of the in-ring psychology that you were mentioning earlier?
Oh, okay. Ring psychology, right? Basically, what it means, it's just like when you watch a Tamil movie.
Okay.
Okay, you see, like the bad guy will do a lot of bad things. Then people will be like really angry with the guy, just waiting for him to come out.
Okay.
Then they will save it until the very last scene. Then the hero will start working him. Then everyone feels so happy, right? It's something like that, lah. So when you go into a match as the bad guy, you want to sort of like take control of the match and sort of do very heel things. Means like keep stomping on the guy, pushing his head, maybe even taunt the audience. But for me, I don't taunt the audience because I'm soft spoken. I have a soft voice. You see, my voice sound like secondary school boy. Yeah, so I stick to my actions, lah. So with the very bad guy stuff, then we'll come to a point where we call it a hope spot.
Okay.
That means like suddenly the good guy managed to push your hand away and then give you a few punches. Then the crowd become excited. Hey, the good guy is starting already. Then you cut him off. Then again the bad guy is in control again. So you build it up in such a way. Then towards the end, right, then you let the good guy start doing all his big moves. Then the crowd get very, very excited. Then you finish the match. Then the crowd will end the match on a very high point. So that's ring psychology.
It's like more like utilizing the climax point and the turning point into the correct spot of the choreography lah.
Something like that. So we don't just go in and do moves. Actually, we plan all these things.
Because நீங்க இதை சொன்ன மாதிரி தான் எனக்கு ஒரு ஞாபகம் இருந்துச்சு. I watched your match with Rowdy Ranga.
Oh.
Yeah, you were like literally tossing him around left, right. Then suddenly there will be one moment where he would like do a stunt. He will jump from the rope. Then after that, then when there's like hope, then you suddenly slam him down again. The moments of this was like very pinpoint accuracy. Like, it got me hype also when I was watching it.
Yeah, because the fans like Rowdy Ranga because he comes in with very fancy music. And it's something very unique lah. And then Rowdy Ranga went back to India the next year itself. That was my first match. Yeah, so wasted lah. Rowdy Ranga he's actually he's working as an IT consultant or something. Then so he was passionate about wrestling lah. So he pay for the classes. He come every week 3-4 times. Then he debuted around the same time as me. So since he was very popular, they decided to like match me and him. Yeah, but the match was planned by the SVW guys. Yeah.
Okay.
That time, no, we all knew we don't know all these ring psychology and all. We just we just practice the moves they teach us and try to sell it in such a way.
Yeah, you were holding him up in the air like for like solid 5 to
Oh.
10 seconds. I was like, இன்னும் வரலையே கீழே.
So, I just want to get your thought, on wrestling
Okay.
compared to 2019 to
Okay.
now.
Okay.
Unga opinionல is wrestling evolving in Singapore? Like as a wrestler, not watching, like becoming more involved in this.
Actually, to be honest, I think so because now we are a lot more active on social media. Okay, if you see right, the most recent matches we did in house inside our training center. So no audience because of the COVID thing, right? So for all the matches, we actually released certain promos, and actually the audience actually bought into it because people have, our shows are always sold out, 300, 400, always sold out.
Wow.
We even sold out once 700 plus.
Wow.
But that was a special event. Kenny Omega came to wrestle in that show.
Yeah.
So our fans are all like just waiting. So we start saying, okay, we'll do online matches. You all can see from YouTube. So the promos were all well received, and I think that is the way forward from here, lah.
Nice. So the future, there is going to be a bright future for wrestlers in Singapore, I should say.
Yes and no, lah. It really depends. it's very you see, it's not gotten to a point where you can make a decent amount of money from it. If let's say you go to Japan, right, you can earn 5-6K a month just being a wrestler.
Wow.
That means you just go every week, you do 2 matches a week, But you don't, because you don't have that kind of
Crowd.
our market is generally small in Singapore. As with many other things, if you see like a lot of, maybe you look at our football scene here,
Yes.
same problem. The market is too small. And people just don't want to give local talent a shot.
Yeah.
You see, but wrestling, because it's a very unique thing, very flashy and all, so people take notice. They, like, they tend to, when they see someone wrestling, Singaporean guy, then they will go and look, oh, Singapore got wrestling, But under every block got someone playing, so they don't look at it in the same way.
Actually, at this moment, this one thing just came back to me when Yuva was telling, நம்ம யாரும் wrestling பண்ணதில்லை. But I have bet to differ. நம்ம எல்லாரும் ஒரு வாழ்க்கையில ஒரு தடவை wrestling பண்ணிருப்போம். மெத்த மேல எவனாச்சும் பெடகிரி பண்ணிருப்போம், எவனாச்சும் சொக்ஸ்லேம் பண்ணிருப்போம். அங்கே இருக்கணும்.
Especially when you have younger siblings,
Attitude adjustment.
Actually, class
attitude
கூட
சரியில்லை.
பண்ணிருக்கோம். We have before the first session, right? You'll do in class also. Put the table together.
People choke slam you.
Huh? No, I actually want to throw you off the building.
That is hell in a cell toss.
So, bro, moving on, நீங்க wrestling up பண்றீங்க, body building up பண்ணிருக்கீங்க. You're also a personal trainer.
That's my job, lah.
That is, நீங்க personal trainer இருக்கீங்க. Now, COVID happened, and I believe this affected a lot of industries. நிறைய jobs was affected, and personal training is one job in particular where I would say it's definitely affected. And gym has to be closed. Or a personal trainer, how did you have to adapt to the COVID-19 situation?
Okay, here's the thing. The first one, right? First lockdown. I told myself, I have to keep things running. So I just look for whatever jobs available. So I was actually working in a warehouse and it was very hard work and long hours. So it's like basically, right, I was a OM for this warehouse at NTUC, but I'm working under a subcon. So I got like 40 guys under my charge. So my job is to make sure that the first shift of 20 guys and the second shift of 20 guys show up. Because as a subcon, we are providing X number of hits, right? So so here was the problem. If those guys, they last minute don't show up, we're in trouble. Then we have to activate someone else and all. And you imagine reporting time 7 a.m. 3 or 4 fellas will just call, oh, I sleepy, I cannot come, I sick, Then, just imagine how chaotic.
Yeah.
So, besides being OM, I also double up as one of the workers. So once everyone report ready, all the activation all done, I'll go in and work also. Hard labor lah, carrying things lah, stacking and all that stuff. And some of the days, the second shift also people never come, cannot activate anyone. I'll just work again. So I'll go in the morning, 7 a.m. I leave 11 p.m.
Wow.
and do that for 6 days a week. But it was okay lah, because I always wanted a chance to do some hard labor just to understand how these workers are feeling. So, I got that chance during that period.
Actually, right, bro. One more thing I want to tie back to is just now when Sharif was mentioning about how social media changed bodybuilding. How has social media changed this gym scene? Like, when you started, the gym population was not very crowded. Right now, the gym is accessible everywhere. The crowd, there's constant crowd. And as a gym instructor, when you see this, what do you feel about all this?
Okay, I can tell you, one of the biggest change you see in the gym, right? When I started, you see, the people of my time are different from the people of the current generation. Our time, our parents whacked us up nicely. So, we are all very respectful. We don't go and talk back so much to authority, stuff like that. So, during my time, if I went to the gym, I accidentally dropped a dumbbell or what, right? The instructor will be down my throat already. Like, hey, why you drop, Then, what we will do our time is we'll say, ma'am, sorry, accidentally, So, back then, people were always training with very good form. They're doing slow reps, they're putting the weights down gently. The difference now, right? The youngsters, they're coming in, they're just anyhow lifting heavy weights and slamming everything down. A lot of them are doing powerlifting style of training, but they're not powerlifters. They don't compete in the sport. They're just there to show off.
Is it because of what we see nowadays with YouTube fitness gurus on YouTube?
Yeah, exactly.
From what they're promoting on their channels, the young ones are trying to copy that now.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what's going on.
I see.
So back in those days, powerlifting was not so popular in Singapore.
Yeah.
And nobody trains like that. Everyone comes to the gym to build muscle.
Correct.
But nowadays, the guys who come, right, they'll train for 2-3 weeks, maybe 2 months. They say, hey, no muscle, okay, I'll focus on strength. Then they'll start slamming and swinging the weights.
So if there was a piece of advice you could give to people like who are, because nowadays there's no access to the gym due to them being closed and all that. So would a piece of advice Irka that you'll give to people who are training at home who might not be used to it yet?
Let me see. Okay, maybe I can show you guys. This is my home gym.
Nice. Entire
Instagramல பார்த்திருக்கேன் இத.
Bench press.
Yeah, so pretty much I can do everything, any kind of training I can do at home. So, but of course, training at home is something you need to get used to.
Right.
Yeah.
But then, to me, I always ask myself, even at the gym, before I train, I always ask myself, why am I here? Before I go into all my heavy sets, I ask myself, why am I doing this set? Because to train competitively, right, your mental state is very important.
Yeah.
You cannot just go into the gym and say, okay, I'm doing 5 sets today, 4 reps each, that kind. You cannot preset anything. You have to go by feel. You have to max your body up. So like 1 hour before I go to the gym, I'll spend some time watching YouTube videos, like Ronnie Coleman, the very hardcore training guys.
Yeah.
And then I'll spend time asking myself, why am I doing this? Why am I coming here? Which championship I want to win? So as I start training, I'll remind myself. Then I'll ask myself, okay, this set you can only do 6. If you just do 6, is that enough to win your championship next year? Then all that kind of things will invoke your emotions. Then go for it. Boom! I'll be able to push it to 8 or 10. So this is called overreaching, because your brain actually has much more control over all these things than we would realize. Because you see, okay, let's say you're on the street, right? Suddenly a big dog starts chasing you. You have this thing called a fight or flight reaction.
Yeah.
Adrenaline rush. Correct. So you realize that what your adrenaline rush does to you is he brings all your blood from your body to your peripherals, your arms and legs. The purpose of that is to survive. So you either fight or you run. So your body will become as efficient as it possibly can. You'll be able to run faster, hit harder, everything you can do better. So the secret to training very hard is to be in that zone. So adrenaline rush is the max lah. That means some tiger is chasing you. Then this is your state of normalcy. So your training zone should be somewhere here. So how to get into that kind of mental state, right? You have to be riled up. You have to have emotions going. So for me, what evokes my emotion is reminding myself, why am I doing this? So that state of mind, right? You can get it anywhere, at the gym, at home, running track, anywhere you can have it. You must train with a purpose.
So bro, also one more thing, bro. Now, I mean, you also do gym. You could coach people for gym, like you teach them, you plan for them and stuff. Now during COVID times, right? Because triple lockdown actually, and the lockdown phase, like, and the gyms are closed. So since your training routine has changed, right? Do you also plan diet for them? How has it changed in order?
Oh, okay. This is something I've been doing all along. I actually went to study nutrition. You know, even my diploma has a nutrition module for sports science diploma, right? So for me, anyone who signs up with me for any training, whether it's personal training or online coaching, I will give them a customized nutrition plan. And that one is based on their body. That means like guy A's plan will be different from guy B. And my plan, I'll make it very, very detailed. So they will be like, it's easy to follow. There's like, okay, this many grams of this a day. Then I'll give the calculation. This has this much protein, this has this much carbs. And why you need this amount. I'll do the calculation every time I put there.
Okay.
So actually, there are people still signing up with me for online coaching and changing their diets during this time. And I give them a home workout plan or what, like, see what equipment they have, and then I recommend them something so they can still train from their home.
Understand.
So just sorry, I have to ask one last bodybuilding question.
As many as you want.
Okay, so there has been a lot of debate and a lot of literature about the number of grams of protein per
Body
gram
weight.
of body weight that you per pound of body weight that you need.
Okay.
In your opinion, how many grams per pound of body weight?
Okay, basically, right, 1 gram per pound works best for any level, it seems. Okay, because at the earlier part, right, when I was still smaller, I was doing 0.8 grams per pound of body weight.
Sorry.
I was still able to grow.
Okay.
That was like between the 70 kg ranges. When I went heavier, like right now, I'm 95 kg. Now I have to hit more than 1 gram per day. If not, the next day, I feel like I'm not even recovered from my training. So that means I will be trying to hit like 250 grams to 300 a day. So it also depends on the level that you're training at.
Okay.
But most generic people going to the gym, you're not competing, you just want to build muscle. 0.8 is the minimum.
Okay. So we got your Mr. Singapore's tips on that. Okay, so yeah, thank you for sharing your content and your journey with regards to like all the way from the childhood stories to wrestling to your bodybuilding contest to your personal training. It's really been very insightful for all of us, especially since considering the fact that at one point or another, people would have been bullied and some people will be silently suffering now, even as we speak. We may never know, or people who might be inspired to actually take a leap and try something like pro wrestling in Singapore or in any other country that they're listening on, or maybe just even want to go to the gym or start something that they want to do, or even things like changing a career or trying something new due to COVID, which is something that you did, and I really find is very commendable, as well as also like you put a lot of hours into it as well. To do something as a temporary thing just to keep your life going, and then to put that amount of hours in the time, the amount of hours into the work itself, I do spot a certain pattern with regards to whatever you're doing. The thing is, we spoke about it earlier. You mentioned that you want to be the best version of yourself. And that starts with your starts and continues with your gymming, your personal training, your wrestling endeavors, and anything. The thing that people can take away, and the thing that I'm taking away from your story also, is that being the best version of yourself is a mindset, and it doesn't stop at one endeavor. It's a way of life. It's a philosophy of life. And that's one of the main things that I hope our audiences can take away from this episode of Father Pocha. So yeah, thank you for sharing that with us. It helps all of us keep going as well, especially those who may be keen on doing something new or forced to do something new. Just keep yourself going and just do your best, and you may never know what will happen. So that being said, it's time to go to Vadakadaigal.
சொல்லுங்க bro. Basically வடகதைகள், we share the happy stuff we've happened this week lah. உங்க வாரத்துல ஒரு happy stuff.
Okay, actually, right, in the whole of April, I was not in Singapore.
Okay.
I was be thinking, like, how come COVID, what everything goes on. Yeah, because actually, I got a small role in a Netflix series.
Okay.
So, yeah, so they got approval for us to fly over to Batam to do the shoot.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm one whole month, 20 days total quarantine.
Oh.
And the other days
Wow.
was shooting and all that lah. So when I went there, right, I went off my diet. I cannot eat properly. Some more the director told me I need to have a bit of belly for my role. So I was like eating white rice more often and stuff. So when everything finished, I came back to Singapore, right. When I came out of my quarantine, I see my physique was like, very, very not as good as before. My stomach got bigger. I mean, of course, I didn't was on purpose, but it was still bigger. Then on the scale, right, I lost 7 kg. So when I went there, I was 97, and when I came back, I was 90. But it was
Okay.
not fats because my fats actually went up. That means I probably lost more than 7 kg of muscle.
Wow.
Because you must also plus in
Yeah.
the waist size. What? Yeah, so that was 1 month ago. So I told myself, like, okay, this month I'm going to get back in shape. So and then just one day after I came back, I went to the gym, and then the next day they closed the gyms again. So, but the good thing was very, very blessed that during the first circuit breaker, I buy all these things and keep. And in fact, I've been over the months, right, I've been training home quite frequently also. Once or twice a week, I train at home also. So, I was very blessed that I have all this lah. So, like, I did my monthly measurements. Today is yesterday. I normally take all my measurements once a month just to keep track of things. So I realized, okay, I'm almost back to where I started.
Okay.
I gained back 6 kg. I gained back some inches on my arms and legs and all. And my waist didn't go up. That means none of the weight gain was fat lah.
Okay.
So I was like, quite happy about that.
That's good. It's good to
Congrats,
hear.
bro. Yeah.
So next up, let's go in Java.
Okay, my story very simple. நான் வந்து Facebook யூஸ் பண்ணியிருந்தேன். Then I saw Barav. Barav Nai shared this meme. What? Radha Ravi in another parallel universe.
Fuck you, that was going to be very funny. Okay, wait. So actually, this was going to be. So, yeah.
You know who's Radha Ravi, right, bro?
Oh, yes.
I cannot. I saw this. I started laughing.
Oh, but this is the app, right, where they superimpose.
No, but this guy really looks like Radha Ravi.
He looks. That's the real him.
No, that's the point. That's the point.
No, it's a guy who looks like Radha Ravi lah.
Okay. I thought it was the app, they can superimpose the face. I thought I didn't realize he looks so much like him.
I tell you, I saw already. I started laughing, and I was in the toilet. I was laughing so loud. I cannot stop laughing. Someone the face.
This is the best part of the I saw this meme last night, right? Imagine I was scrolling through and I see Radha Ravi. And I listen to him talking like Drake, talking about Drake in Atha's English. I'm like, bro, holy shit. Funny shit, lah. It was really funny.
I think of Radha Ravi. I can always imagine that scene from Mutu. With the horn.
Horn, right? Yeah.
That's terrible. Fuck lah, that was gonna be Vadagada,
Yeah.
You asked me go first, what? So go and think lah, stupid fella.
Never mind, I have plenty. My life is filled with happy moments, Macha.
Yeah.
Let's go with Sharif next.
In the varam fulla, I've been catching up with this list of ஒரு meme, like just a list of memes by these 2 people.
Me?
No.
ஆசிக்கப்பட்ட நாட்டுக்காரன்.
These 2 people வந்து they are normal adults. ஆனா பாக்குறது வந்து they look like small boys.
God, Sharif, I know who you are referring to.
Sharif.
They look like small boys.
Hasbullah.
So அவங்களோட பேர் வந்து one is Hasbullah and one is Abdul Razik. So இதோட like whole
concept.
aim is to the whole concept is to in the வருஷ கடைசில வந்து there's this MMA fight in the rendo they have to fight with each other lah. So it's something they are trying to copy the whole MMA promo of Conor McGregor versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. And these two people, they come from the same region as Khabib, Dagestan. So they're very cute, very funny. I won't say boys lah. They are not technically not boys because they are both 20 years
18
old
and 20.
adults. 18 and 20 years old
You know,
adults.
I didn't know that.
I didn't, frankly speaking, I thought it was some 4-year-old kid trying to play.
Same.
I swear, until I realized that actually, இவர் என்ன கொஞ்சம் mature பேசுறாரு. Then I realized இவருக்கு actually 18 வயசு.
Yeah.
Correct.
I didn't know also. I was shocked, like when my friend told me, oh, the guy is 18, I was like, oh, fuck off, don't lie to me. And it's like, really?
Yeah.
But
So
I know,
yeah, correct.
but I know your wife had some comments about that, right, Sharif?
Yeah. She say I was actually being a bit too obsessed with this
Actually,
whole
a bit.
shenanigan.
A bit.
Yeah, ரொம்ப obsessed இருக்கேன்.
Yeah. Oh, WhatsApp. So,
What about you?
WhatsApp people. Yeah, correct.
For me, so I'm a diehard Friends fan, and the Friends reunion just came out like a few days
nice,
ago.
okay.
I just started watching.
I haven't watched. No,
As in, just started watching Friends or the reunion?
No, the Tamil movie Friends.
Yeah, நேசவனி வந்து நல்லா நல்லா மூஞ்ச அடிக்கணும்டா பாரத்தை.
The Friends. The
Okay.
Netflix.
Okay. Yeah, so I just watched the reunion and it was damn good because for me, when I was going through some shit in my younger days, with regards to like some unfortunate circumstances in life, that show was the one thing that kept me going. I used to be so hardcore that I saved my allowance money to buy the, at that time, VCD box set.
Mm-hmm.
I think, bro, Danny, bro, if you buy wrestling CDs, I probably got it from Laser Flare or something. Maybe.
Yes.
Laser Flare, yeah, okay, yeah. So, whenever I buy any wrestling pay-per-view that comes out, I'll probably usually 2 weeks after the pay-per-view most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I buy the pay-per-view CD, I'll go buy a Friends CD also. Friends box set also, and every month I will save up my allowance to buy that, and that kept me going lah. Cause the laughs that you get and the sense of community that you get with the show was something that I carry with me. So, and the reunion episode of Arambodhi was like very, it really pulled at the heartstrings a lot, and it was quite. And the way they actually executed the reunion was very meaningful. They really rewarded the diehard fans for following through and keeping up with the stories lah. So it was very, very well done.
I'm enjoying it. I'm not going to lie. I'm enjoying it.
So, Barav, on story
What's your
என்ன
story?
திருடுறதுனால உனக்கு ஸ்டோரி இல்லைன்னு நான்
No.
இத்துடன் வடக்கடை
So, இன்னைக்கு தேதி வந்து 2ஆம் தேதி 2nd of June, right? Exactly a year ago on 31st May, we started this journey of Vadapuchi. And it sort of like started out of nowhere. So, bro, உங்களுக்கு தெரியலனா, we started the journey on 31st May, and we started this podcast because of a FIFA session.
Oh.
You and I were just having a chat, like, we should have this, I don't know what we were chatting about, but I thought we should have this conversation on a podcast. Yeah. We, I think, played on a Wednesday, and on a Sunday we recorded, and we just released the first episode. அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் இந்த 2 நல்லவர்கள் வந்து வந்தாங்க, அந்த ஷரீஃப் and Jawher.
No, but before that also we had the idea of opening
Yeah. So how it went, like we were wanting to do it very long, but then we realized that 4 people planning it took very long. So we decided to just start with 2 first.
Then
And
think about it later.
Then the rest. So we just wanted to get the foot in the door first, then everyone entered through the door together.
Alright. So what else do you guys cover actually? Because actually the concept of podcast, right? It's like just 4 people talking about something very normal that everybody also talks about.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what makes a podcast interesting. So like people want to hear other people's opinions.
Yeah.
So இதுல 2 வகை இருக்கு. ஒன்னு வந்து ஸ்டோரி டெல்லிங் மாதிரி, that means ஒரு கதை வந்து பாட்காஸ்ட் வழியா சொல்றது. இன்னொன்று வந்து they have a niche, like நம்ம நல்ல நண்பர் ஃபார்ஹான், அவர் பாட்காஸ்ட்ல வந்து நீங்க போயிருக்கீங்க, இந்த கிக் டு த கட் பாட்காஸ்ட். அது வந்து ஒரு ரெஸ்லிங் பாட்காஸ்ட், as a niche towards it. So அது வந்து ஒரு ரெஸ்லிங் பாட்காஸ்ட். So you're a wrestler, you're a wrestling fan, you would know what to expect from it. What concept we had was to make someone smile. ஏன்னா நிறைய பேர் வாழ்க்கையில் வந்து துன்பங்கள் தான் நிறையா இருக்குங்கிறது we sort of experienced and we sort of knew. And I thought, to me at least, just, let them forget about the problems for that 1 hour. Let them enjoy the episode, let them enjoy. We want them to be part of this clique, I would say. Yeah. And adunale we sort of like cover sort of like a very general topic.
Yeah.
And adula ஆரம்பிச்சது தான் just have fun. Ultimately is to bring out the 4 characters of us, which is fun and retarded.
And also like the conversations that we had generally within our group also like each of us actually has a different sort of interest. Like for example, like Sharif, he's more into current affairs and things like that. I am I'm very interested in like social constructs and things like that. And Barav has a lot of information about like podcasting, and he also has a lot of overlapping interests with like me, Sharif, and Jawhar, all that. So, and Jawhar is very interested in like the sports scene, gaming, anime, and things like that. So we all have different perspectives, and we like the conversation that we have with our friends. We don't always talk about a certain topic. We end up talking about a lot of things within our groups,
Yeah.
So we wanted to just have those conversations that we were already having in our lives and things that people practice but don't acknowledge. For example, the weddings episode. The weddings are expensive, but nobody talks about why. So we wanted to talk about that. So things that are happening in our lives but we are not spoken about. So we wanted to cover things like that, cover interest topics. So there's a little bit for everyone. So that was the concept, and our group dynamics is literally like everyday Joes walking the everyday lives with everyone. So we knew that we are average people going through the life with the rest of the middle class, right? So we wanted to build a sense of community for this group of people.
I'm curious what episode is that. I'm definitely going to see the wedding episode.
Link அனுப்புறேன் bro.
We'll link you, bro.
I was thinking you guys could also do like because this is a very Tamil centric podcast, right?
Yeah.
I think it would be very interesting if you guys start commenting on movies, because everybody's going to go watch. Then
Like review the movie.
I think you guys seem to very cool guys
actually we
to
can
do
do that.
stuff like that.
We'll try.
But it's not, I know the
இல்ல மூவி
try,
ரிவ்யூ
we'll try
பாட்காஸ்ட் நிறைய இருக்கு, but we will try to sort of integrate it with
Bro.
maybe as a segment, bro.
Bro, when you got time, right, you go YouTube, this guy called Blue Satte Maran.
yeah.
But you look like Barav, you go
You look
see.
like Barav, actually.
Coming back to my Vadakada, guys. So, coming back to my Vadakada.
But that fella doesn't know that he's very sad of his life because he look like Barav.
So coming back to my Vadakada. Wait, let me mute Jawar first. So yeah, basically we are celebrating the first year, I would say, of Vada Poche podcast, and I wouldn't have turned any, I wouldn't have, even if I had gone back in time, I wouldn't have done anything different. I think I'd have just done the same thing and probably started off with you four guys lah.
I saw your post da. அப்படியே
Nice.
மனச நக்கிட்டான் கொஞ்சம்.
Yeah.
Yeah, lah.
Then
So,
but you asked the reply.
fuck y'all. That's all I can say.
So yeah, let's give you some context lah. So like what Barav did was he did like a very warm post. Like if you look at us now, we really inside each other, right? But Barav did something opposite. He really posted a nice picture with a nice caption thanking all of us. And we are not used to saying nice things about one another. So I put a I hate you and a heart shape down there like this too.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we made it 1 year. Good job, guys.
Yeah, man. Good job, guys.
And we are still counting.
And bro, thanks for coming onto this show at just around our 1 year anniversary mark.
no problem. Congrats to you guys for your 1 year of doing this podcast.
Thank you.
Thanks, bro. Thanks, bro.
I'm definitely going to go and check out
Thank you,
more.
bro. Really,
Thanks.
Yeah.
We'll link you the wedding
Yeah,
show
yeah,
and
yeah.
we'll keep the movie review thing in mind now. Once, even when we do that, we'll give you the link also.
I'll be following from now. Wait to wait.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, nice.
Nice, bro. Nice.
இத்தோட நீ வாழைக்கடை முடிஞ்சிச்சு.
ஷோவே முடிஞ்சிருச்சு.
வாழைக்கடை முடிஞ்சது. தர்மா ப்ரோ, நீங்க ஷோக்கு வந்தது ரொம்ப நன்றி. And யுவா சொன்ன மாதிரி there's a lot of takeaways we can take away from your story, and we really appreciate your time. We really appreciate you coming on the show, and I hope you really had fun.
Oh yeah, I had fun. Thanks. Thank you guys a lot.
பட போச்சே.